Guys, welcome back to another Ask the Masters episode, and I am excited to introduce you guys to somebody you probably have already seen because he's been in the industry a long time. So Mr. Brett Abbott, CEO of Pool Builders Marketing, is a marketing consulting firm that specifically does marketing in the pool industry. He is a go-to guy when it's difficult websites or anything that I go to. I consider him a very close friend, and he's part of a larger team that we work on something called Cyber Funnels. So Brett, why don't you start out from the beginning? How'd you end up in the pool industry?
Well, it's kind of funny. I had no intention of going in the pool industry. Someone gave me the wise advice to pick one industry and get really good at it. Because when I started in marketing 20 some years ago, I would work with anyone. I guess you could say I was a marketing slut. Okay, so, but then after a few years, I focused down on one, and I kind of chose swimming pools by accident. One of my clients, a dear friend of mine, owned a pool business, and he was getting help by someone else, and I could tell the other person wasn't helping him. So I kind of stepped in, and I enjoyed it. And long story short, marketing for the pool industry is not very difficult. We're selling something that people want. We're not trying to sell root canals. That would be a lot harder, right? So it's really pretty easy, and there wasn't hardly anyone doing it. So I kind of was a big fish in a small pond. So, and I've enjoyed it. What a great group of people.
Well, I know you've taught seminars, at the national show. You've been in Atlantic City. I think we've seen you at just about all shows. In fact, I know recently you were down at the Carecraft, weren't you?
Sure, yeah. In fact, Carecraft was my first one back in 2007.
Oh, no kidding. No kidding. Wow. So, I think you and I were going to talk a little bit about the importance of photography today. Could you give me some thoughts on, on what we should do in the pool industry as far as intellectual property and, doing some recording? How important is taking pictures in the industry?
Well, it's interesting. It's so easy to overlook. You'd think a marketing guy, I'd be saying, well, it's your website and it's your pay-per-click and it's your elevator pitch, But the truth is that if you didn't have any of that, well, let me put that a different way. If you could have a great website, but if you don't have any decent photos, well, then you're going nowhere. It's a visual product, right? That when people who are buying pools, do you mind if I go to my PowerPoint slides?
I would love that. Please share your screen with us.
So, we're not going to watch any of these videos. We're going to talk about why the photos matter. Now, let me jump into that. It's because it's a visual product, right? In fact, I got to ask you this test question. In whole numbers, what would you say? What's the average number of pools that a homeowner has bought before they meet with you, a pool builder, about getting a pool? What would you say was the average in whole numbers? How many pools have they bought before you?
God, I would have to think that they haven't, unless they're buying a house with a pool, but actually calling someone in. Is that the correct answer today, Brett?
0 is the correct answer. You have nailed it. Overwhelmingly, people who are buying pools have never bought a pool before. Some people do buy more than one in their lifetime, but you usually buy a lot more cars than you do pools. So they don't know what they're doing. They don't know what to look for. They don't know what to ask for. And that's a whole nother subject. The short answer is, basically what we've learned is that the homeowner who doesn't know what they're doing, they'll go to a website, and you can say anything you want on the website. Maybe they'll read it, maybe they won't. But one thing's for sure, they're going to look at the photos. And if the photos look good, then they'll say, oh, I think I like this guy. This looks pretty good. Let's put them on our short list. And if they go to your website and you've got lousy photos, uninspired photos, or same with videos. If you've got, uninspired, awkward videos, they're going to get turned off. They say, you know what? So I don't know why, but it's something that doesn't feel right about these people, and they move on. So again, it sounds strange coming from me, but perhaps the smartest marketing dollars you could ever spend would be on making sure you get really good photos. So, because again, that's what persuades people. And if you can see my screen, I'm showing some data.
I'm not seeing your screen yet. Or did you hit the share properly?
Probably not. Let me get that.
Let's double check. And while you're doing that, real quick, in my day, it was a little difficult to actually take photos. In fact, I was fortunate early on in the industry to always have nice digital cameras, and I got a lot of press because of the photos we had taken. But these days we all have these epic cameras right in our pocket, and I often just say, hey, just push record, just take pictures. You guys are seeing stuff that nobody else gets to see. and recording that along the way. And I like to use what I call brute force. So it's always nice to have professional photographers, always nice to have those. But you know what? If you shoot 100 photos, I think you're going to find that 10 of them are pretty epic photos.
Probably, unless you're committing some of the classic errors. And I'll talk about those specific errors
Oh,
now.
okay, great.
Because and let me just tell you right now, in case nobody listens to anything more than this piece of this podcast, if you are walking up to your pool, to a swimming pool, and you've got your 10,000 megapixel camera, you walk up and you take a photo from standing height, you've failed. That's not the most flattering angle for a swimming pool. So maybe a high quality photo, but it's not flattering. So I'll go into that. All right.
Perfect.
And thank you for reminding me about the screen. What I'm showing now is a Google flow, traffic flow. This is a visual that shows you when someone lands on a website. Over in the far left, you see a great big green rectangle. That's all the people that came to the site. And then it shows you where they go from there. There's all kinds of, maybe they went to outdoor living or finance or contact us or any of these, but you'll see one big box. And that big box is labeled gallery. And I'm telling you, Randy, I've looked at least 1,000 websites, the Google Analytics for 1,000 websites, and it is always the photos page. What you call it gallery, call it photos, call it portfolio, doesn't matter what you call it. Everybody goes and looks at the photos. And if they like the photos, then if you're lucky, then they contact you. But otherwise, then they leave. So it's overwhelming. We know that the most people going to a pool builder's website, the first thing you want to do is look at your photos. So make it easy to look at the photos. And then number two, what this is all about is let's make sure they're good looking photos. Okay. So let me give you so that's why it's so important. Again, if you're not going to spend any other money, if you're on a tight budget, learn how to take some good photos. So here's a few basic tricks, excuse me. Get the whole shot. If you give me 98% of the pool, but you cut off a little piece of it, it's just going to look weird. If you were going to buy a car, would you only photograph the hood? No, you photograph the whole car and a little bit of space around it so I can appreciate what it looks like. So get the whole shot, get the right angle on it. Like I said, if you walk up with holding the camera at 5 feet in the air, it's just not a very flattering angle. You got to get a little bit higher, 10 feet, 12 feet, 14 feet. Let's make sure there's no distractions. So, and by the way, the reason I'm so intimate, I mean, that's not the right word. The reason I care so deeply about this is because we do build a lot of websites. And the photos are crucial on the websites. And when a client gives me a bunch of crappy photos, it just breaks my heart. I'm like, oh, please, I could make your website look so much better if the photos were high quality. So what we're looking here, this happens to be something from Don Gwiz with Lewis Aquatech. Gorgeous, obviously $500,000 to $1 million project. But that's a $4,000 photograph, right? I mean, that's magazine quality. You can see the entire backyard. You don't see any distractions. You don't see beyond the yard. It's just gorgeous, right? And it's an interesting subject. That's where
we sell lifestyle. So this pool here is an entire lifestyle. So they can see everybody over at the kitchen having a drink, and the kids over in a different area, and they're I think quite often in the pool industry we get focused just on the pool. But
yes.
What we're selling is an outdoor environment. We're selling a life experience, and we need to broaden that out and bring everybody into, while it all revolves around the pool, they're also thinking about outdoor cooking, health and wellness, places to lounge, places to read a book, places to get away from the kids or the husband. So
yeah, away from the husband. That's a good one, especially right now with the shutdowns. In fact, it's interesting that you brought that up because we have this habit in the industry of taking photos of our projects with no people in them. And that's okay that, most of the photos are just showing the product, but it doesn't hurt to have some photos actually showing what you just described. Let's see someone over there cooking at the grill. Let's see some people relaxing in the pool, enjoying some beverages, sitting at the swim up bar. You know who's good at that is, if I can mention a brand name, Ledge Loungers does a great job of shooting videos, showing people enjoying the product. They don't just show the boring white chair. They show people clinking their drinks and having a good time. So,
Hey, and Brett, not only people, but the dogs, the
oh,
pets, man. I
yeah,
can't tell you, this some of
yes.
the best pools that I ever sold were built just for dogs.
Oh,
So, show the lab launching off the top and just having a blast in the swimming pool.
the extended family, as it were. Yes, indeed. Let me show you some examples of what I've seen that are classic mistakes. Here's a swimming pool, ignoring the fact that it's low res. They cut off a little piece of it, so it just doesn't feel right. Right? You just kind of get this, oh, okay, they're just not very inspiring. By contrast, here's a similar pool, but it's a very crisp photo. The lighting is perfect. You see everything. It's a high quality photo. This was shot by a professional, and you can tell. Here's, I'm moving on to another photo. This has some people in the backyard. If you can see them, they're relaxing in the Adirondack chairs. They got a nice pool with a slide, but the angle is highly unflattering. It's not even at 5-foot eye level. They're 2 feet down below the pool and 2 feet lower, and so you can barely see the water at all. So it's really more like an advertisement for chairs, for poolside chairs rather than a pool. So the angle makes a big difference. I've moved over now to another photo, simple, small, L-shaped swimming pool in a relatively small house, but the lighting is perfect and the angle is perfect. Look at that little outdoor patio there. Just
look at the reflection.
Water, yeah, right.
The medium of water is all about reflection. And look at that reflecting house in that pool. That's the beauty. That's the art. Is water is reflective.
That's right. And by the way, this is I'll talk in a minute about how you can take 100 photos. If you're a mediocre photographer, you take 100 photos and hope to get this one. If you're a great photographer, you'll take about 3 photos and get this one. But that's, again, when you're spending 4 digits for a photograph. I see this one usually when a builder hires a photographer, and the photographer says, oh, you betcha, yeah, I've taken lots of photos. And he takes a photo like this. If you can't see it, we're basically about 12 inches off the water, getting sort of that frog's eye view of the water. You can see the house, but we have no idea what this pool looks like. I get the hint that it's probably pretty interesting because it looks like maybe there's a sunken bar or something on the other side, but the water is meaningless when you're this far down. It's a complete wasted photo. Unless you're trying to sell the house, this is a complete waste of time. Here's another example where we've got the correct angle on the pool, and now you can see everything. See the house. Now here they happen to use a fisheye lens. You get a little bit of that, a slight distortion, but it doesn't matter. You think, wow, that's beautiful. Whoever built this must be a really great pool builder. You just can't help but feel that when you look at this photo. Am I right?
Oh, absolutely gorgeous. The clouds in the sky and the blue and the contrast, perfect. Beautiful with the water features, nice.
Yep. Here's another example of a great shot of a home. This is from an architect website. So we can see the pool, but we really can't see what the pool looks like. So this is great if you're trying to sell a house. This is not great if you're trying to sell swimming pools. Again, here we're showing a beautiful house and a beautiful pool, but at the right angle, so we get to enjoy all of it. If you're down in Florida, well, you've got a constant challenge. Certain parts of Florida, having a cage around the pool, it's just, that makes it hard. But then you'll notice in this photo, we've also got the safety fence up, which makes it less appealing. We've got the brush thrown over on the side. You see to scrub the walls. And over in the far right, you see the hose to vacuum it. So there's nothing like trying to convince someone to buy a pool while also reminding them that there's going to be maintenance required for the rest of their lives. So hide the maintenance equipment. Don't show me the hose. Don't show me the creepy crawler or any of those things. We got to get that out of there. And then there's even worse. This one is just rife with mistakes. This is a Vanishing Edge pool in Florida, right on the water. Should be gorgeous, but they got the wrong time of day because you see the harsh sunshine, the shadows. They got the hose in the water. We're showing the grass. There's even a wheelbarrow, an upside down wheelbarrow in the background. Do you see that? It's
unbelievable.
It's just like, well, it's probably a gorgeous pool, but you failed on the photo. This is the way to do it. Get it at the right time of day. In fact, in this particular photo, I believe the photographer did a little bit of photoshopping to improve the blend of the pool into the lake, but it looks seamless, doesn't it? Now that's a gorgeous photo. That's a 15-year-old photograph, but it's timeless. It's just can't argue with it. Again, the cages, they're tough. So we got to move back a little bit. So that's taking good photos. Now, let's suppose we're going to use a drone. Let's talk about taking photos with a drone. Common mistakes are to think that because I've got this $1,500 drone, or it could be a $15,000 drone, if you're taking lousy shots with a hand camera, then you're probably going to take lousy shots with a drone, right? So the drone won't fix mediocre shots. Okay, so here's an example. If you happen to see this, somebody got up. Well, it looks like somebody got on the roof, but actually it's a drone. But it's the wrong time of day. They shot down there. You got the harsh shadows. It's just not flattering. Yeah, we can see the whole pool, but just not flattering. Too many problems. So sky high shots. So here we're looking at an example, but look, we can see in 4 different people's backyards. And half of the photograph is people's roofs. Now that's a good looking swimming pool, but it only represents what, about 15% of the photo, right? So it's like, okay, now you gotta get way down. If you could get just that pool project, that would be a good photo. This photo is a complete waste. This is better now. We're looking at a straight down shot of a pool, and it's good. It kind of looks like a blueprint has come to life. So that's not bad, but this can get old fast, because that's not the way we're used to looking at pools. You wouldn't go shopping for pools looking at all of them straight down, just like you wouldn't go looking for cars by looking at photographs of all of them from the top down. It's not natural. It's interesting once in a while, but not forever. And dare I say, the same with video. If you want to take videos of all of your pools, that's fine, but that will get old fast also, unless you do it. Well, you know better than anyone, Randy. You can't just because you made a video doesn't mean people want to watch it, right?
Yeah, and I think you're dead on this point. These top-down shots are really extremely difficult. The cool part about drones, guys, are flying them down at higher level. And in the old days, you used to have to bring in what we called sliders. They were carts that moved on rails, if you will, to get nice sliding shots. And a drone will do that naturally, and you can migrate in and migrate back. But for the most part, you need to learn to fly your drone down at from head level to about 12 to 16 feet, because that's where you're going to see the water moving. That's where you're going to see the waterfalls coming down. And I love the conduits on top of this. On top
right. The electrician did a good job.
Did somebody mess that up or what? So,
yeah, no, you nailed it. Yeah, from about 6 feet to about 15 feet or so. It's a replacement for a ladder, right? Instead of, as you said, lugging a track or even a big ladder, it's a weightless ladder. You can try different shots. You can shoot at 5 feet, 6 feet, 8 feet, 9 feet. See what looks best. It's infinitely and instantly adjustable. Also a reminder for any kind of photo shoot, but especially if you're flying a drone, you need to clean the place up, prepare the site in advance, because of course, if like most drone flyers, you've only got so much battery time, so much air time because of your batteries. So you don't want to be all set up and then get the timing wrong. Maybe you're losing the lighting or something. So you got to have someone clean the pool and get the distractions out of the way first. Time it for lighting. Here's an interesting shot. This is almost perfect. You can see the yellow sunset or sunrise coming in on the house. Boy, if we had just a little more light on the pool, it would be better. But at least I got the angle pretty good.
And that's a lot. We called it the golden hour, guys. So it's sunrise and sunset. Those are the days that are, those are the money shots. The money shots are always going to be just as the sun's coming up or just as it's going down. I personally will not shoot on what we call a real hot day if we got a lot of sun, because you can't fix that.
Right.
So sometimes a good cloud cover can correct a little bit of that.
Right. Yeah. Cloud cover is your friend. As a general rule, shooting in the middle of the day is a big mistake. I agree with you there. Tripod mode. Most of your drones have tripod modes and whatnot, so they can fly very slowly, so that you could get the best best shots. Where it'll just hover right in place. Altitude and angle is important. If custom features, this is a thought, you may want to shoot them off first, so you get the reflection, then turn them on and take another shot, because you may want both. Off and on. Quantity of shots, like I said, good photographers, 50 to 100. Great photographers may take only 5 photos because they know what they're doing. Let's talk about videos. You know anything about videos, Randy?
You know, videos are, you know, a picture, Brett, is worth 1,000 words. A video story is actually, you know, in this day and age of you know, high bandwidth, a video is worth 1,000,000 or 1,000,000,000 words.
I agree 100%. I agree 100%. Here's the common mistakes most amateurs will make if you're not a videographer, but you're a pool builder by trade. You're probably flying too fast. You're probably making some jerky motions, and you probably don't kind of know what you're going to do until you got it up in the air. No planned path. You really should know. It's just like shooting a movie. You should have decided in advance what you want to show, and you know, we're going to come in from here, we're going to stop here, we're going to turn 90 degrees, then we're going to do this, etc. At the moment I'm happen to be showing a demolition going on. Now I'll give this particular builder credit that this really isn't a show-off video. He may just be doing it for documentation purposes. But what you'll also notice, he keeps moving the drone, right? It's like, well, if you want to take a shot, stop moving. Just hold still. You don't need to move it. You've got the angle. Like I said, think like a movie director. Don't rush things. Use your slow motion mode. Oh, and one of my favorites, get out of the scene. Have you seen photos and videos where you can see the guy holding the controller while he's looking at the drone up in the air? It's like that's not helping.
And I like to fly too and not tell anybody we're flying. These new drones are smaller profile. They don't make as much noise as what they used to, because it's a bummer when everybody's looking at the drone. You know, you got all this eye contact instead of, you know, everybody's just acting naturally.
Yeah, the quieter it is, the smaller it is, and there's less regulations, and we'll talk about that in a minute. At the moment, I happen to be showing a photograph where someone thought, oh, let me get a drone shot of this pool. Well, he got half of the photo is this homeowner's pool, and the other half is the next door neighbor's empty yard. Well, why are we looking at that, right? And there's a ton of distractions in the good photo. Oh, this is actually a drone. So again, it's kind of worthless. I wouldn't want to show this to anyone. It's just amateur. So we'll move on. Ewing Aquatech. I hope they don't mind. I borrowed one of their videos off of their homepage of their website. And this starts out pretty good. I don't know why they grade it out. I think that's a mistake. But then they're showing the in construction. And, you know, as a general rule, showing how the sausage is made isn't near as interesting to homeowners as we think it is, right? It's just showing kids having fun, that's good. And showing people enjoying the pool or just a beautiful pool. But the sausage, showing, if you know what I mean, when we're showing how the sausage is made, that should be reserved for those rare moments where someone actually wants to see how the pool is made. Regal Pools down in Houston, they did a fine job with this one. You see them coming in on this award-winning pool from across the river, and then they kind of do some zoom tricks. So that was a nice approach. Custom pool design down, this is Chris Anderson with, Custom Design Pools. They did a great job. Now we got a little bit of music in the background. That's a long video, but if anyone wants to see a well-done video, Custom Design Pools in Houston is a great example. Van Kirk, I'm skipping over this one. Van Kirk has more of a about our company video. It's a combination of video. In fact, you know, maybe I should show this, and Randy, you may have some comments on this. So they show kind of it's the start of a new day. We're opening the doors. The sun's coming up. We're busy working, shipping stuff, looking at drawings. So there's our warehouse loaded with parts, looking at drawings again.
So, you know, we use video for different purposes. And I think most people are voyeurs now, and they're looking into it. And the Van Kirk brothers have actually been on our podcast before. In fact, I think you guys have heard, and they've got just a monster of a company moving out there in Florida. So I think once now. That's a beautiful picture. But once people start to drill down a little bit, the Van Kirks, and that About Us video is probably telling more about, hey, we've got a lot of in-house people, and this is the way our organization works. So we do use videos for different things, often showing different teams and so on. So yeah, we need the beauty shots, but sometimes to close the deal, you want to show that you're a for real company.
Yep. It's a heck of a company. They did a pretty good job. That's another good example to follow. Of course, anything that Randy does is a good example. I'm going to kind of skip over that one. It's just another kind of shows quick, a few shots, and that's fine. Unless you wanted to go into it more, I'd like to keep moving on and hit just a few other bits of advice. For when you're doing photographs, we like a wide angle. When we're doing video, it tends to be more interesting if you do a close-up. Right, it's kind of the opposite, right? Because if you're video, you're looking at a wide angle, you think, well, I want to see more. So you have the ability to zoom in, so you should do that. You may also want to consider a voiceover. Music is okay, but because I'll tell you, let me just back up on that for a second. If you're going to show me anything, it's a lot more interesting, especially if the designer or the owner of the pool company says, oh, this was a pretty interesting project. I don't know if you can tell from here, but we actually had to build a bridge to get the excavator over here. And we did this and do that, just a variety of just the inside story. A voiceover can make a video, in my opinion, can make it twice as interesting.
It definitely does, Brett. I think one of the things now, remember in production with video, there's now it's very economical to send the videos that you've shot out and have them edited, and then just the way we're recording this today, you're there in Austin, I'm in California. These voiceovers can simply be done once you we understand what the strategy is. But by human nature, since we were cavemen and women, we like to tell stories. So telling a story with a beginning, a middle, and an end for your clients with the video overview is critical. And once Brett implements that into a web page, it can be something that's powerful that gets them to stick on your web page. Because Google cares about a couple things, and Brett's an expert at SEO and what makes websites tick, but Google wants you to stay on the website. They're wanting to give out information, and if they can go there and listen to a story and watch a video, it's like giving them a Snickers bar. It's like, whoa, hey, I'm kicking back. I don't have to read anything here, right? I get to watch a video. So right. It's pretty powerful when you turn that edited video over to Brett's team and they embed it into your website.
Eye candy, yep, makes them very happy. Taking a little break. Some other uses for a drone, I'll just mention that if someone's going to buy a drone, it can be used for training. There's all kinds of training you can do, showing, especially construction and whatnot, showing how the steel is, how you expect the steel to be done, how you expect the concrete, the gunite to be done, how the decks, etc. That's you could make a heck of a internal training video. Also good for liability to protection, to show because you're documenting what you've done. Like that guy who was doing the demolition. I mean, that's kind of a big deal. He was swinging that big old ball very close to the house. So he's got some liability protection to show that he didn't hit anything. You can use it as documentation for the project. 3D renderings. Now, Randy, have you had any experience with that where you're using video to help with 3D renderings?
We have. We can ship it off, and more and more. You can actually use drones at a little bit higher level, but actually to plot out a piece of property and to get elevations on a property. So I would challenge you. You're going to have to get some more education on how to do that. I also will give an aimless plug, and we are not sponsored by this company, but some of the best drones I've ever had are made by DJI. And they're very, very easy to fly. They're extremely safe. They don't hit things. And you can be up and flying pretty quick with a DJI. And again, don't go for the big high priced one. I think now they're under $1,000 and they shoot 4K and they work off, you pop your cell phone in the top of it, and they're just fantastic. So Yeah, I think it's a cost of doing business in this day and age.
DJI is a heck of a brand. I like to point out to people, I don't know if you can see this, this is a $65,000 drone. So there's a lot of professional drones out there for the industry. But, and DJI's got this $6,000 drone with all kinds of goodies. But I'm with you. The $1,000, that's kind of a good benchmark. If you're in the $1,000 range, you can you'll get a very good DJI or a unique, and for a little bit more, you're likely to get multiple batteries. You got to have multiple batteries. You're going to want a carrying sack or, a backpack or suitcase or whatever for it. So again, if you're paying less than $1,000, you need to be careful, because you might not be able to get the quality you need. When you're at that $1,000 mark, like you said, Randy, you're getting the obstacle avoidance. And I don't know about you, but I've crashed a lot of drones. So obstacle avoidance is vital if you don't know what you're doing.
Yeah, and I'll just geek out on that a little bit, because I love drones. And the shot before this you showed is an Inspire 1. That was actually my first drone, but operating the thing is a monster. And it's a beautiful drone, believe me. But it's just too much. It takes 35 minutes to set it up. It sounds like a helicopter coming in. It's amazing, and it's a great professional quality drone. But all in all, that thing sits on the shelf the majority of the time, and that Mavic that you've got in the next one is the actual workhorse that we use. Just because we've flown it, nobody even knows it's there. So we're not, there's not a lot of attention brought to it. And we've been stopped with the larger drone by the police and other ones telling us we can't fly in public area, where this drone is so quiet, so smooth, and so easy to operate that, these, I think right now, the Mavic 2 is right around under $1,000.
It is. Yeah. Even in the $600, $700 range, if you're not getting all the extra goodies, for $1,000, you're going to get all the extras with it. So yeah, it's a heck of a deal. They've also, what's the other DJI, the Mini, isn't that what they call it?
Have you seen Mini? Now, I haven't had any experience with that. This Mavic seems to be the workhorse. Have you ever flown the Mini?
Yes, both of these. And so the difference is, if it's windy, the Mini is going to have some trouble. Mm-hmm. But what I see is this is where they're headed. There's going to be a merging where you're going to have the capabilities of the Mavic 2 in the Mini, and the Mini is down in the under $500 range, or it's approximately $500. So, because smaller tends to be better as long as it can handle the wind. So, yeah, it's amazing what the technology is doing. Oh yeah, here's back up here. Here's $100 unit that you can buy. If you've never flown a drone, get yourself a $100 drone and crash it a few times and get used to it, get comfortable before you start crashing your $1,000 Mavic 2. Okay, my suggestion. Unless you're a natural, and I don't know. 4K is normal, gimbal camera, high quality lenses, obstacle avoidance, spare batteries, carrying case. Those are all good things. One last comment I'd like to share about do it yourself versus professional. Okay, so if you're going to do it yourself, you do have to register your drone. You used to have to get a license if you're doing it for business, but they've changed that. They've fixed all the drones now. The software prevents them from flying in no-fly zones. So they've dumbed it down. Well, I guess they smartened them up so that a less intelligent populace can fly the drones without getting in trouble. Nowadays they simply won't. I don't know if you knew this. You aren't able to fly it into an unpermitted zone. It's already built into the software. So.
And it updates regularly, and this is a super easy license to get. You just go to FAA.gov and fill it out, and you get it, right away. So you're just registering it, and you're given a number.
Yep. And then it was before you fly as well. And nowadays with the software, you don't even need that. The other, I don't know oh yeah, here it is. I wanted to mention this. So you can, if you're into it, you want to fly a drone, you want to have it, and you think you can, if you follow these rules, you can probably do okay. But I'll tell you what, you'll probably never produce the quality that you'd get from someone like Randy Beard or from Video by Robot. This is a company out of Houston. They specialize in drone video, and they have for many years. Before drones really took off, they were using $10,000 drones for for movies and that kind of thing. So, and they're now familiar with the swimming pool industry, so they kind of know what we expect. I'd say call Video Robot or call Randy Beard. I bet people know how to get hold of you too, right? Yeah. So those are kind of my key comments about drones. It's a great tool, but only if you know what you're doing. If you don't know how to take good photos, then don't waste time getting a drone.
No, but the importance of I say just push record, guys. Taking pictures, taking video. It's really going to help your company progress in this day and age of visualizing stuff, because the majority of people are going to look at your website. They're going to want to move around in that website before they ever call you. So showing examples of who you are, what you do, and what your product looks like is pretty important.
Randy, if I may add to that, I agree 100 videos and photos, especially videos now more than ever. Photos have always been important, but now videos are more powerful than ever. There are so many great videos that pool builder could add to their website to educate the prospects, to engage them, to help them prepare for the meetings with the designers. There's so much that can be done. But I'm 100% on board with videos, but I'm not real impressed with what I'm seeing from a do-it-yourself standpoint. If I throw the bell curve at it, I'd say 80% of the videos that folks are trying to do themselves, probably not helping on the website. For now, I think you should get some expert advice. It's because it makes a difference. When it looks cheap and homemade, then they're going to assume that maybe you're a cheap homemade pool builder. And if the video looks good, looks professional, then there will be some assumptions. So, well, you must be a high quality professional pool builder. So it may not be true, but that's the assumption that people are going to make.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Well, there you go, sir. That's my thoughts on photos and videos and drones.
Well, absolutely fabulous. He is Brett Abbott. You can catch him here on Ask the Masters or touch base with him. Brett, tell people how to get a hold of you, and tell them a little bit about you going in and taking a look at their website for them. I know that's a service you offer.
Sure, that's true. Right. So this is super easy. Poolbuildermarketing.com. It's just that easy. Poolbuildermarketing.com. You'll find us. There's contact us. In fact, I have a little schedule an eval. You can on my website. If you go to contact us, it'll give you a chance to schedule a meeting. 30 minutes. It's almost a trap that I've set for myself, because if someone fills that out, it puts it on my calendar, and I live by my calendar. So I will show up and you get a free 30-minute meeting with me. So that's a little insider secret there. But you're right. But one of our specialties is websites. I remember when I first got into this industry, like 15, 16 years ago, I said, I don't know what the right website is, but I think that there are certain things that a website's got to have. And within a year, I'd figured it all out. And so now I've been doing it for 15 years. So I can look at any pool builder website, just about any website, but especially a pool builder or a pool service company, and boom, 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 I can just naturally go right through it and go, oh, yeah, this is good, good. Oh, this is a problem. If you want to know why it's a problem, I can explain why, but I've got a 67-point checklist that I go through, but I can do the whole thing mentally. So if someone wants a free evaluation of their website, I can do that. All they have to do is go to my website, schedule a free eval, and boom, you're in.
That's fantastic. He is Brett Abbott. Thanks for joining us here on Ask the Masters today. We will see you guys on the internet. Go make it a great day.